by Bhau Kalchuri on September 12th, Noonie Day, 1987. Your attention is undivided. Your attention is divided. O Meher, you see everyone and everything, every moment, and you pay your attention to all. Should I therefore think that you can't pay full attention to me as your attention is divided? O beloved, I long for your full attention towards me as I belong to you solely, and there is none for me besides you. But is this your justice, that you pay less attention towards me and more attention towards those who do not belong to you solely? O friends, please do not misunderstand the beloved, because he appears as if he doesn't pay attention towards me. Know well that he does so because he has so much trust in me that I will never leave him in any case. O brothers and sisters, do not worry if you can't do anything for the beloved, but allow him to do everything for you by making him your constant companion. O beloved, when you manifested universally in your previous advents, you might have liberated thousands of people, but the population of the world is much more now, and therefore, if you liberate billions of people, including all so-called saints and masters, heads of different religions, priests, greedy and selfish persons, it will be your greatest manifestation on earth. O so-called masters and saints, this is the period of the advent of the beloved, and he will forgive you willingly, provided you stop deceiving people and remain bowed down at his feet. O bow, what the people may think when you are still ordinary after years of association with the beloved. We presume that you don't care for what the people may think, and you express what you actually experience, that the beloved is everything for you.
Today is the last day of the program. It is the last day of the program, but not the last day of his savas. Savas is continuous. Savas is not over. Program is over. So never think that it is the last day of savas. He is continuous with us, and he will give us savas all the time, till we become one with him. Then we will not require savas. So long we are not one with him, we require it, and whether you want it or you don't want it, you will do it. That is a definite thing. Now I was listening about the questions, very good questions. The pen was there, and very good answer. I liked very much. But about silence, I just want to make one thing very, very clear. When 10th July would come, so monthly members had to observe silence. And Baba was he was silent. How to communicate? That was a problem. Silence day. Sometimes Baba would cut humor, and I just give the example. He would just view through science, of course we would understand that after you take lunch, take rest in the Mandi hall. We were at Guru Prasad once. So there were others also. So Baba says, take rest in the Mandi hall. Through silence he said, and of course, through silence, of course he told them that in the Mandi hall, those who had come that day, they were very happy. And they ate and they were taking rest, sleeping. And after some time, Baba comes with his stick. in his mind. And then he used this one. He gets up and Baba says, keep quiet. Don't say. Another one. Yes, very good. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. So everyone got up and Baba laughed. Now during night time, I would observe silence. So when Baba would make signs, I had to repeat. But how to repeat that? Not words, silence. So Baba was telling something. It was very important. So in reply, of course, I had to make signs. So I was also doing signs. My whole body would just move. And Baba would laugh and laugh. Baba would not be able to understand what is I would understand his signs. And when I would give the reply, I would repeat that. So repeat that, whole body would just move. And Baba would laugh. One day, very important thing was there, and I have to convey that his message to the Mandi. So Baba says that made signs. I could understand that, but I could not repeat it. When I would repeat, then of course my whole body would move, and it was very, very important. Baba says, now speak out. So I spoke out and kept silence now. So different things would happen. But silence day, you have seen the circulars up to 1967 circular. You would find that Baba would give alternative, either fast or silence. But in 1968, the circular for 10th July, strictly Baba has given this order, the silence. No alternative, no fast. 1968 circular, if you see, so only silence. Now the problem is there. How to observe silence when you work? That is the problem. And still people, they just they observe fast silence, not possible because they are working. But the last order of Baba is to observe silence. Now, in January, when Baba was in a very critical situation, spasm after spasm. And Baba gives us silence on 18th January, then 21st January, 24th January, 18th January, 69, when we observe silence. What happened? Baba would get spasm after spasm. And it was very difficult to attend. If you would make sign. So signs, when you make more spasm, how to attend? We observe silence on 18th January. Critical situation. How to just call the doctor or send the message to anyone, to Padri who was at MeherBabaLibrary. How to do it? Very, very difficult. How to attain? 18th January, we observe silence. 21st January, again we observe silence. And then age. his heart just, he could not bear it. 24th January, he has asked us to observe silence. And he has said, Baba, now we are very helpless. We are very helpless. Please just allow us. How can we attend to you? How? You just suffer and we cannot just communicate with each other how to do it. How to do it. Something is required, and if I want or someone wants, just bring this and bring that. How to communicate in this situation? Please just allow us to not to observe silence on 24th January. Why I am taking this? That in that critical situation, when Baba required the help, and he asked us to observe silence, and he was suffering, and we could not know what to do now, observing silence. Did not know what to do now. So silence, it is very, very important. It is very important because in that situation also, Baba wanted us to observe silence. And 24th January, when we did not observe silence, he said, Baba, we are very helpless. Please, don't ask us. We cannot bear this situation. And of course we did not. And what happens? That day, of course, Baba suffered more and more. He suffered more and more. And that's why I should say that is the day when Baba has given one setting. Even if you are humiliated, you go for work, humiliated, people laugh at you, don't worry that I am observing silence because of certain reason. Certain reason, of course, even if they say anything, humiliate, certain reason, what is that certain reason? He has not asked you to stop writing. Stop writing, he did not ask. So, you can just learn writing. You in writing nothing wrong. But that day is the most important day because you are following his order. Following his order, don't worry about anything. What will happen at this, if we are working, and when we are working, then of course, how to do it? You will find the solution. Only thing if you can write, and just still people insult you, humiliate you, that you are just you are not intelligent, you are just fools. Yes, we are Baba's fools. We must not feel ashamed of that. We are really, if we become fools, it is very helpful. Very, very helpful. Then when people come to know that we are fools, they will not ask any question. Why to ask any question to the fools? Why? So you will be saved. Don't worry about it. If it happens, humiliation, go to any extent, knowing fully well that beloved has asked me to observe silence, I will observe. Don't break my silence. Don't say anything. Unknowingly, unconsciously, when it happens, then that is quite different thing. Once I broke silence in MeherBabaLibrary. How? There was one dog. So I was creating trouble. And my mummy Christine was telling that, the dog should keep silence. So, silence day. And I said that John, just tell Mummy Christian that she should observe silence. I broke my silence. So unknowingly, if it happens, that is quite a different thing. But consciously, don't do that. There is one, of course, Katie, you know. So Katie, silence day. So she would observe silence, but her silence was quite different. Quite different. When she had to communicate anything, she would communicate through nose. She would not speak out, but through nose. She would do it. Here also, I just see that you all that observe silence and go to the dhun. But what you do? Just like this, you just talk. That is also not allowed if you observe silence. Don't do that. Whispering is also not allowed. And for silence, our beloved has suffered a lot. Suffered a lot means why he gave us silence on that 18th January, 21st January and 24th January. What was the reason? Silence, it was the medium of his universal work. So that universal work he wants to do for you, and you just talk. You don't keep quiet. It is very important. We must observe silence. Anything happens, humiliation, insult, if people say anything, don't do. Try. Try your best. Now there was another thing about the question Fred had asked. Reply was quite good. Not that all the replies about silence, the panel, everyone expressed the views really correct. But I just give one example about this question. So Francis, the poet and the writer, he was with Baba. Now in 1967, what Baba started doing, Baba would ask Aruba. He would give 1 or 2 words of his couplets, and Aruba would recite the couplet. And then Baba would translate it into English. And when Francis would hear, he would just feel so happy, and also he would get the longing to write ghazals in English. So Baba continued. Every day he would give some couplets, and Alba would recite, and he would translate. And Francis would get more and more longing to write ghazals. Then afterwards, what happens? Baba would ask Aluba to recite. He would give 1 or 2 words of some couplet, and Aluba would understand and he would recite the whole couplet. And he would say, Hafiz, sublime. His work is sublime. He was matchless. No one is equal to him, and no translation. And Francis would just wait for the translation, and Baba would not translate. The next day, again he would give 1 or 2 words to Aloba. He would recite the whole couplet. And he says, Hafiz, his work is sublime, matchless. And our Francis would wait for the translation. And Baba would not translate. He got the longing to write ghazals. Now desperation. that no translation. Then few days it went on like this. So Francis would come, sit in the Murli hall. He would not look at Baba. He would just sit like this. And Baba would say, sublime. Francis, matchless. And when Baba would say this, he was boiling inside. Boiling inside. And Baba would not say anything. He would not tell him anything. And one day, Francis was so desperate that he was just sitting like this. And Baba, you 2-3 words or some couplet to Aloba. And Aloba recited the couplet. And Baba says, that's sublime idea. I like Hafiz very much. No one has written anything like Hafiz. He's matchless. Francis. And Baba looked at him. And Baba says, Francis, ask anything. No question, ask anything, and I will give you. Ask anything. Yogi had been there at that time. He would have said, give me God realization. But here, his desperation to what extent? Francis says, if you want to give me anything, I want only one thing. And Baba says, what is that? Don't mention name of Hafiz in it. Just see his desperation, how desperate he had become. He says, don't mention name of Hafiz anymore. And Baba laughed. And Baba did not sing. Then Baba went for lunch. Francis goes to his room and writes a ghazal. When Baba comes back, his mood was changed. And he says, Baba, I wrote a ghazal. Oh, you wrote a ghazal? All right, read out. So he read out. Baba says, sublime. And Baba says, Francis, read twice. Because I want to memorize it. So that when after 700 years I come back, I will quote you, not Hafiz. The questions are already answered. There is no question at all. Question is within everyone. And what is that question? Who am I? What more questions? We must find out the answer of that question. And we are giving the answer, but all false answers. From the beginning, of course, we are giving the answers, but all false answers and real answer we have not yet reached. We don't know the real answer. So his work is, question is there already, and he is making way to find the real answer. Real answer. So if we ask any question, the questions are already false. Because question is there. We don't need any other question. Only one question is there. We must find out the answer. And he is the answer. He is the answer, and therefore he is making way to find that, how to find that answer. So we should depend upon him. Fully we must depend upon him to get the answer of that question. Which of the answer is in, which question is in everyone? Avatar. Avatar, his work is quite different. No one knows. Yesterday I told you that he becomes everything. He becomes everything. So, the creation in the creation consciousness, he lives in every level of consciousness. For stone, he is the stone. For vegetable, he is the vegetable. For animal, he is animal. For bird, he is bird. For human being, he is human being. He lives at every level of consciousness. So, his work, how can we understand his work? Not possible unless we become him. Not possible. So once it so happened, Baba told this story that there was a perfect master. And that perfect master would live in seclusion always. A perfect master also does universal work. But he cannot give universal push. It is not his authority to give universal push, it is only the avatar of the Christ who gives universal push. So that master was there and some few disciples. So many years they were just serving the master. And one day the master became very, very compassionate. So he tells his disciples that how fortunate you are, that you are with me since so many years. You did not have any recreation, you did not have any sightseeing, you did not have any good food, and you are with me all these years. So I want you that one day I give you full freedom. So full freedom, enjoy to fullest extent. Eat whatever you want to eat. Drink whatever you want to drink. No restriction. And if you want to go for sightseeing, go anywhere. And if you want to have some recreation, do it. Music and dance and everything. I give you full freedom. Enjoy it to the fullest extent. Tomorrow, I give you this freedom for one day. And those disciples, they were with the master since so many years. They did not know where to go and what to do. So they say, Master, if you come with us, it will be a great thing. He said, what are you talking? If I come with you, I will say, don't eat this and don't do that. So I will put a restriction. So why do you want me to? I am giving you full freedom, enjoy. Whatever you want to do, do it. So the disciples say that, Master, we are very helpless, we don't know where to go and what to do. So even if you put restriction, it is all right for us. But you come with us. Master says, no, you want me to come with you, all right, I will come. But where to go? Oh, Master, now you decide. What should we eat? What should we drink? Of course, you decide, Master, we don't know. Master said, all right, did you see the ocean? He said, no, Master, we did not see. So tomorrow we would go to the beach. And full freedom. And the Master gives the list of eatables and the drinks to enjoy to the fullest extent. So then, of course, they were very happy. Everything was purchased. And the next day, they went to the beach. And Master, they were sitting there. Master said, eat and enjoy, drink. And Master said, just see the waves in the ocean. How beautiful it is. Yes, Master. Every year, if you bring us to this beach for a day, we will be very, very happy. Master says, yes, I will do that. And then see the ships, how heavy they are, but they do not sink in the ocean. Just see, yes, Master, this is the miracle. That they are so heavy and still they don't sink in the ocean. It is really very new thing we have seen in our life. And there was one ship where people were boarding. And Master was just trying their attention, eat and drink and dance and sing. And they were enjoying. and the ship left the shore and it started going ahead. And the master became very, very gloomy, very miserable. He was keeping quiet. And the disciples looked at him. So, Master, what happened? You were in a nice mood and all of a sudden, what happened? He said, what to say? What to say? The ship is going. It is going to be sunk. Master, when the ship was there near the shore, why did you not tell us? Why did you not tell us? We would have now so many people, they are there in the ship, they will all will die. Why did you not tell us when the ship was at the shore? And the master said, had I told you, still it would have happened. Nobody could say. Master, you always say this. When the ship was here, we would have told the people that this ship is going to be sunk. So don't go. He says, I tell you that it is all destined, it would have happened. And they were talking, and the ship sank in the ocean. And the disciples, they felt so bad that, Master, you would have told us, we would have saved. And the master says, all right, in future, if something happens, I will tell you in advance. And then, of course, it is your duty to save. And they, in the evening, they came back. And one day, a young man comes to the master. And master had a talk with him. And then he left. And he tells his disciples that young man who had come and just left, I tell you that he is going to be killed in 7 days. I'm telling you in advance, now save his life. So they all ran after that young man, caught that young man, and he says, whatever our master says, it is just the truth I'm telling you. We are telling you. So he just now said that you will be killed in 7 days. So now you go to some forest, thick of forest, and find out some place in the thick of the forest where nobody could go. And then after 7 days, of course, you can come out. But 7 days remain there. Otherwise, you will be killed. So that young man goes to the forest, goes here and there, thick of the forest. And in one place he found there were thorny trees. It is the place. I must hide myself here. Nobody could come here. So anyway, he cut the branches, this, that, and went inside. And there was a pit. Thorny trees were all over. And the pit was there. Oh, this is the safest place. I must hide myself here. So he collected all dry leaves and he was hiding and covered himself by dry leaves. Now what happens? The prince of that area came to the forest for hunting, and he was going here and there, and he disappeared. He just disappeared. So those who had come with the prince, they were searching and searching, but they could not find the prince. So they sent the message to the king that the prince has disappeared. We are searching and searching, but we could not find him. And the king got very angry, and he gave order to the army, just go there and find out, just find the prince there. So you just surround the whole forest. Surround the whole forest so that no one could go out of the forest, and just make the search. So the whole army was just all around the forest. And they were just going inside the forest. And then what happens? They went to that spot where thorny trees were there. And they looked, and they could not suspect that there would be someone here. But then what happens? This one young man must be moving, and they heard some noise. Said, why not to find out here, also search here. So they cut the thorny trees and went there and took out the leaves, and this man was found. And the king had given the order without asking any question, you just kill that man. Anyone if you find, you kill. So they did not ask him anything and they killed him. Now, when they killed, the master came to know. He called his disciples and he says, I had told you in advance, why could you not save the life of that young man? Why? And the disciples say, now master, we believe. Yes, whatever is destined, it happens. We now believe. And the master says, yes, whatever is destined, it happens. But there is one who can just save the avatar, the Christ. He is the one, he is the master of divine plan and he is the executor. So he is the master. He can do anything, he can. But those changes and alterations also they are in the divine plan. But only he has the authority to execute those alterations and changes. No one can do that. A perfect master cannot do, he has to follow the master plan, the divine plan. He cannot make any changes. These changes and alterations, whatever they are, only the avatar can execute. Only the Christ can execute. So, he is the master of divine plan and he is also the executor. He can do anything. So we are so safe that of course he can do that. He can give godliness to any sinner in a moment. Even if it is not in divine plan, he can do that. He has the sole authority because he is the one who is responsible for the whole creation. He is the only one who can give a universal push. And what is that universal push? Universal push means every level of consciousness, the consciousness of the stone, there is no consciousness but mental body is there, though not developed, subtle body is there, not developed, but then that whim is there, who am I? So the whim gives the push and that's why there is progress from stone to vegetable. So he remains in every level of consciousness. And that's why he can give universal push. Now what is that universal push? Of course, we can understand why it is necessary. We just find that from gas stone to animal form, the consciousness is more, the progress of consciousness is more or less natural. It is not unnatural, more or less natural. But when the human form comes, the consciousness, the progress becomes unnatural. Because mind is fully developed. Mind is fully developed and then the subtle body is fully developed. So, we have got full gross consciousness. Gross consciousness we have. So we don't need more gross consciousness. So we must turn towards the subtle world. But we cannot, because gross impressions are there. We carry the impression from the animal kingdom. So it is not possible, and that's why we go on collecting more and more impressions. Now, when we collect more and more impressions, these impressions which we have, this body which we have, this is nothing but the mold of previous life impression of the previous life. We are now spending. When we spend these impressions, then of course we create new impressions. We go on creating, but new impressions we don't spend in this life. For that, as soon as the past impressions are finished, we have to drop the body. And then, of course, 40 to 72 hours, we remain the soul. Along with soul, the mind is there. Soul is immortal. Nothing, soul never dies, soul never takes birth. It is the mind which takes birth but does not die. It has a very long chain. And there are so many links in that chain. This is the chain of illusion, chain of sanskaras, which we collect. So when one link is broken, then of course we call it death. But then of course the chain is there. Then another link, we just go on. But this is all dream. This is all illusion. In fact, no one takes birth and no one dies, because soul does not take birth, soul does not die, soul does not die. It is the mind which takes birth, which is limited. So mind, it takes birth, but mind does not die, because the chain is there. So then one link you just leave, another link comes. So it just goes on and on, unless the chain is crumbles into pieces. So we just go on taking birth and we die, we grow up, taking birth, we grow up, and then of course we establish family, and then one day we leave that family. It just goes on and on, but this is the journey in illusion. This is not the fact. This is the journey in dream. And that's why it is said in Bible, in Quran, that there is no reincarnation. Actually, there is no reincarnation. And if it is there, it is in the dream. And dream is false, so reincarnation is also false. Because soul does not take birth, soul does not die. It is the mind, illusory mind, which takes birth, and it takes long time to die. Very, very long time. So there is no birth and death, it is just illusion. So what is that universal push? And why universal push is required, and why he has to come back again and again? Universal push. I told you that this progress of consciousness up to any internal form, it is more or less nature. Nature it is, because who am I, of course, that Him works in everyone, and because of this progress is there. So the impressions which are created, who am I? Vegetable. First stone, vegetable. No, then afterwards, no, I am not vegetable. So then you become worm. Then who am I? You become fish. It just goes on. So the impressions which you collect, they are the natural impressions, and they are the answer for the whim. They give the answer of the whim, I am this and I am that. Though they are not that, but that natural progress of consciousness goes on up to animal kingdom. So then, what is universal push? He comes down on earth, he becomes every level of consciousness, he lives in every level of consciousness. What is the need? Need is that we are exploiting all lower kingdoms. Breeding and cross-breeding, we are just crushing the stone. Stone, of course, when you go to the mountain, what happens? The stones, they they require long time to disintegrate. You just find algae there, and then gradually they disintegrate. Same thing, but now vegetable kingdom. Why the consciousness is not natural nowadays? Because different inventions are there. Breeding and crossbreeding and this breeding and so many chemicals and all being spoiled. Now cloning is going on, and cloning, of course, 5, not someone will be there. Yes, 5, not 1. And then of course it will go very easy to invite him. He will be here, he will be attending other savas. But what happens? This natural process is disturbed very much. And this is that state. We are in that state then when there is no progress. Outward progress we just see. Oh, what a progress. Of course, we are dealing with so many compulsions, this telephone and email and computer, all this. It is just, we just see this is the progress. But whether it is beyond gross consciousness, it is not beyond gross consciousness. We have to go beyond gross consciousness. We have to lose this consciousness and get such consciousness. And that is progress. So this progress, why does he come down? Every time when he comes, he gives the words of the truth. And words of truth are there. He gives that. And the words of truth, when he has given, so we have got Quran, we have got Bible, we have got Vedas. Everything we have got. Words of truth are there. It is not that words of truth are not there. Words of truth, they are there. Then what is the need for him to come on earth again and again? Words of truth you will find. But words, if you read, unless those words come into action, they are no meaning. And we cannot put them into action. It is not possible. Because our mind is focused to outward things. We have no time to think about it. Our intellect is so much developed, but for anything, why? Why this? Why not? We should do this. What is wrong in that? And we always justify. Whatever we do, whether right, wrong, justification is there. We justify for everything because intellect is so much developed. Reason is there. And this is the situation when change is required. Otherwise consciousness cannot progress further. And consciousness, unless that consciousness progresses, how can we get the answer of that him, who am I? Now that him, everyone believes God is indivisible, God is infinite, God is one. So where is that him? When God is indivisible, it must be in everyone. And that him is working. We don't know. But this is that time when the him is there, but it cannot work. Why? Because the pressure of the intellect, we are collecting unnatural impressions. So pressure of the unnatural impressions are there. So natural impression cannot work unless that pressure is removed. So universal manifest, universal push is required. He comes down for that purpose. To just give universal push. And what is that universal push? That right from gas stove to human being. He has to. And then natural process will begin. And that will be the time when new humanity will emerge. that new humanity which will have the attraction toward divinity, not attraction towards the world. Our low desires will be minimized to great extent. And the awakening will be there. That's why Baba has said, I have come not to teach but to awaken. So what he is doing now? What he is doing? All these unnatural impressions which we have collected, gradually he is wiping out. He cannot just wipe out at a time because we will get shock. But Baba has said that his universal manifestation, this time his manifestation will be the greatest. And greatest at the same time, people are thinking, what is his manifestation? Either Baba will come back again and he will give some message. Just like he had announced that from he would break his silence in Hollywood. So they were just preparing that people should hear. So some things should be there so that all the people may hear when he breaks his silence. His silence is quite different thing. It is not that noise, the sound which we hear through the tongue. That is not his silence. If he can do this, if he can appear and give some message, that is not his breaking of his silence. Nothing. His silence means to create the awakening. And awakening will be created when these unnatural impressions are wiped out. So that is the breaking of his silence. And that is also his universal manifestation. Every level of consciousness, there will be normal process will begin. So you just think now, Baba has said that 3/4 of the world will be wiped out. 3/4. And people, when he announced it in 1954, before that in 1946, it so happened that Baba was keeping seclusion. He had chosen 5 mountains and he would be there and he would be in seclusion. So there is one mountain in central India. The name of the mountain is Sihava. And it was very, very difficult to climb up that mountain. And tigers are there. And Baba chose that mountain. Now there was one commissioner, his name was Bhau Kalchuri. He was a very staunch follower of Baba. So what happened? That Baba sent him message and he was the commissioner. So he made all arrangement there. But to climb up the mountain, of course it was a very difficult thing. Very difficult. But he made arrangement, even the buffaloes were taken there. Because Baba was in seclusion. So milk, how to get milk? That means to get down and take milk, that means very difficult. So all arrangements were made there. And Baba climbed up. And yesterday I said that there was one mosque at MeherBabaLibrary Shah. So Ali Sahib would call him Babji. So Babji was taken there and taken there of course with great protection. He would not climb up the mountain. So that what we call it, Nasavan, that in the mountain people just take
trolley leg?
No. Someone, it's called dolly. Dolly. What do you call it, dolly in English?
So it's something that you, it's like a palanquin carried by 4 different people.
So he was taken, the mosque was taken in that dolly, and Baba was climbed up and all all multi-members, those Baba had taken, they went up. But it was very difficult, anyone, this milk or anything which was required, nobody would come down and it would take a long time. So, Commissioner of Koshi made all arrangements there. And Baba was working with Mamji, the master. And one day, when Baba was coming out of his seclusion, during night time, everyone would just keep the gun because the tigers were there. Those night watchmen, 4 night watchmen were there, so they would just keep the gun. And they would hear the roaring of the tigers, but they could not come, they could not attack anyone. So they were ready. And last day, when Baba came out of his seclusion, his hair, they were just up like this. And he was quite different at that time, glorious in this. And Baba says, 3/4 of the world will be wiped out. And then, just to the Mandali, and it was not announced, but in 1954, Baba gave the declaration, and in that declaration, he said that 3/4 of the world is going to be wiped out. He would also meet with violent death. Now, what is this violent death? And what is this 3/4 of the world? Either he comes down on earth to destroy, his work he has to destroy. If 3/4 of the humanity is destroyed, that means Siddhi Avatar, destruction. No, that is quite different thing. What he said, 3/4. So after this declaration, he was also in seclusion. And he had sent me to Hamirpur district. Why? Because they wanted to construct their abode in one of the places. And they wanted some Mandi member to go there. And Baba said, who go? At that time, after this silence of course, he said that he would discard the alphabet board. Now, alphabet board, on 7th October 1954, he discarded. In the morning, of course, Baba came, he used that board. In the afternoon, when he came, he said that he was rolling the board, and he threw. What happened? The zero of that board, 3/4 of the zero, that piece came out. Only 1/4 remained in the board. And there was one Mandi member, his name was Sawa Kotwal. So Baba gave him this 3/4 of zero as a present. And he was very, very happy. Immediately he took that 3/4 and put in his box, safe place, so that nobody could take it. And when he comes back, Baba says to him that, where did you keep that 3/4? Said, in my box. Baba said, do you know what is that? 3/4 will be just destroyed. You will be included in that. He said, I don't want it. Immediately he brought it back and gave to Baba. So then that 3/4 of the zero and the board and one sheet was there where the prayer was performed. O Sai Baba, O Narayan Maharaj, O Baba Jan, O Tajuddin Baba, Upasni Maharaj, Narayan Maharaj, you are the witnesses, and before you I am discarding this board and I will not use it again. So after this prayer, then the board and that 3/4 of zero and the sheet was sent to MeherBabaLibrary. It happened in Satara. And Baba gave order to Badri that he should keep it safe, preserve it. So he preserved. But afterwards, I don't know what happened. What happened to that 3/4 of zero and the board, because it is very important. Baba had said that to preserve it, whether somebody has taken away or what. Even my notebooks are also stolen. Where did nothing and everything, Baba had given points, and of course I wrote the nothing and everything. But good that I wrote and afterwards they were stolen. So I don't know how did it happen. And whether this board is there or not, nobody knows. But Baba had given this order. Then afterwards, Baba asked me to go to Hamirpur, that place, and it was a problem for me because even there the sensation was there. 3/4 of the world is going to be wiped out. So all over India, important newspaper, the news came that this is Meher Baba's prophecy that 3/4 of the world is going to be wiped out. All over. And now, there Baba said to go. And I was feeling what I will do there. So Baba says, Baba gave this Satchidanand, Paramanand, Meher Baba Vigyanand. Means Satchidanand means truth, knowledge and bliss. Paramanand, infinite bliss. Meher Baba is Vigyanand, that means he is enjoying the experience of seventh plane. This he gave at that time, and I thought, they will ask for 3/4 of the world. And this Satchidanand, Paramanand, what it will do? This is not the reply. But anyway, I had to go. So I went there. So I had to tour the whole district. First place, I again after 45 years I went there in March. Just the same. No change. That was the only place there was no change. Baba went by bullock cart. I went by jeep. But the roads were not there, through fields. And one advance party, at the time of Baba also advance party. And the bunts were there in the field. So they would chop out the bunts and then pass the jeep. And at the time of Baba, of course, they would chop up this bunts and the bullock cart will pass. So same thing, no change in that village. So that was the first village, about 6,000 people had come there. And of course, what happened? That I said to the group head that Baba has given this line, Satchidanand, Paramanand, Meher Baba Vigyani. So whether anyone can sing it. So he called the singers. They fixed the tune. And they started singing. I tell you, this is no exaggeration. That as soon as it was sung, Satchidanand, Paramanand, Meher Baba Vigyanand, it was just like in the ocean, waves. And I was just felt so happy that now no one will ask me about 3/4 of the world. Baba has given the answer. Satchidanand, Paramanand, Meher Baba Vigyanand. Finished now. No 3/4. And the whole atmosphere was surcharged with his bliss. And I felt happy. But that group head stood up and he says that Baba has said 3/4 of the world is going to be wiped out. So if you want to be included in 1/4, follow Meher Baba. I said, through fear, if you follow Meher Baba, that is not following. There should not be fear. Because of fear, it is not just nothing. That is not following. You can't follow through fear. Through love. And love is free from fear. Love is free from desire. You don't want to fulfill the desire when love comes. So, I said, now how to do? Baba, he had said that I will come with you, don't worry. Baba, now please, just You said that you would come. So please come now, help me. And immediately I remembered one story. And what is that story? That when my turn came, of course I narrated that Baba had told this story. There was a perfect master. And that perfect master with some disciples, and he would be living in a secluded place. Years and years passed by, and he did not change the place, he did not go anywhere. People would come, but the master would not see. So after long period, the disciples, they were just thinking that there are so-called masters, so many, and thousands of people, they follow them. And our master, though he is real, he does not need people. Why it is? So they went to the master and they said, Master, there are so many people, of course, there are so many so-called masters and saints, and they have got thousands of followers. So when people come, at least you must meet them. The master says that time will come. Wait. So they were waiting, and 5 years passed by. Again they felt restless. When the time will come, so again they approached the master. And they said that, Master, now you said that time will come, but when it will come? So the master says, time is coming. Just wait. Some change was there, time will come. Now time is coming. So they said, how soon it will come? They kept quiet. But 2 years passed by. He said, time is coming, but time did not come. So then again they approached the master. The master, when the time will come? You said the time is coming, but when? The time has come. Now, I tell you, you just go and tell the people that I will be available from this date to that date 7 days. And on 7th day, I will die. As soon as the master says, I will die, those disciples, they said, Master, we don't want that people should come to you. Please don't die. Don't die. He said, it is our destiny. Now the time has come. You must tell the people, and this is my order, that you go and tell the people that I will be available for 7 days, and on 7th day I will die. So with heavy heart, they went and told the people. Now people heard this. They said, it is a question of 7 days. Why not to spend 7 days with the master? We will get more benefit, material benefit. We will get our desires fulfilled. Why not to spend 7 days? So thousands of people came there for material desire. And they started singing and dancing. And the master was sitting on the stage and shining. And he would encourage that sing and dance. And they were singing and dancing. First day, it was so charming. Everyone felt happy. Now second day, when they came, so they looked at the master. He was just shining. There is no sign of any disease, nothing. How can he die? He looks so bright. But still they were dancing and singing. But the doubt was there whether he will die or he will not die. Third day, the master was shining more. They looked at him, there is no sign of any disease, no illness. How can he die? So they were dancing, but there was no charm. They were looking at him, how he will die. They were just waiting for that. The master should become ill. So no illness, nothing. Fourth day, the master would shine more and more every day. Sixth day, the master of course was, sing and dance. They thought that the doubt, now it is more and more, and it is confirmed that the master is not going to die. he wanted followers, and that's why he spread the rumor. So they were restless. And then someone, old person, they said, now 6 days we have passed. One day, there is 1 day. So one day, of course, we will do this. And by evening, by sunset, after the sunset, if he does not die, then we will take revenge. So they were looking at his face 7th day, just no charm, nothing, looking at him, how, whether he will die, nothing. So before the sunset, they got so angry that they started throwing stones at him, and they killed him. As soon as he was killed, sunset was there, 7th day. And then they repented, yes, the master died. But how? We killed him. We killed him. So the repentance was there, that we killed him. Whatever the master said, yes, it happened. But we killed him, so much repentance. And they started following him. So master, they had come for the material benefit. What the master gave to them? The love. The real thing he gave to them. He lost his life, but he did his work. So I said to them that what we have to do. 5 minutes?
Time is coming.
Time is coming, yes. I am very happy. Time is coming. So the master said that time is coming. So they all followed him with love. So he gave love to them, though he lost his life. So I said to them that what we have to do with 3/4 of the world, what we have to do. We have nothing to do with this 3/4. We have to think about him, love him. So our concern is this, and the whole atmosphere was changed. But then it went on and on. Then 55 Savas program. More people came. Nobody asked about 3/4. Then afterwards, no one asked about 3/4, and no one thought about it. But in 1967, when Baba was in strict seclusion, at that time, Baba gives the message, his birthday message, that something great will happen, which has not happened before. So circular through telegram, this message was given to all group heads. And Baba's birthday was there. So there were some persons, they would be invited by different sectors. So different sectors, to one person, of course, he wrote a letter to me. Correspondence was closed, but still he would receive so many letters. So he writes to me that I have been invited by different centers for birthday program. So this message which Baba has given, that 3/4 of the world is going to be wiped out. So I think that this message, of course, confirms that. So I am going to different centers and I will tell the people that it is now confirmed that 3/4 of the world is going to be wiped out. So I received so many letters. But first thing I did, I wrote a letter to him immediately. As soon as I received the letter, I wrote him. But what you have to do with 3/4? Just talk about Baba, his life, his programs, how he loves people, poor, lepers, and everyone. Why do you bring these 3/4 of the world? I said it. In the evening, I went to keep watch. And Baba, for the first time in seclusion, he asked me, how many letters did you receive today? I said, many letters, Baba. Who sent these letters? So I said, this one, that one. As soon as his being came, whom I had already replied, what did he write? he has invited in by different centers. So about this birthday message you have given, that something great will happen, which has never happened before. So he said that I said he is going and tell the people that this is 3/4 of the world it is going to wipe out. And did you write? Baba says. I said, why do you worry about this 3/4 of the world? Forget about that. Just talk about Baba's love, how compassionate he is, how hard work he was doing with poor, lepers, all this. You just tell this. He said, tomorrow write again. Write again that whatever he thinks he should tell the people. About this 3/4 of the world. At that time also, I did not know that 3/4 of the world will be wiped out. When Baba asked me to write his biography, and he said that he would tell me about his manifestation, and of course he did not explain. He dropped after 7 days. He dropped his body. So then I was just thinking what to write, and actually when that chapter came, Baba's manifestation, I was just writing 16 hours, 17 hours, 18 hours a day, and my head did not stop. But when this manifestation came, I could not think of anything. Could not think, nothing came. And I was just thinking the pain was in my hand. It fell down and broke into 2 pieces. So I thought, now I must stop it. I must stop it. This is the indication that I must stop. I stopped. But when afterwards, when I felt that I must write, so then I started writing without thinking, just came. The 3/4 of unnatural impressions will be wiped out. And that is the real thing. Because of this unnatural impression, we cannot make progress. That is the right thing. It will happen. It will happen. But then, since last 2 years, it happened that I was in New York. I was giving talk. And it just came. When 3/4 of the impressions, they will be wiped out. So they will be wiped out. So what a shock it will be. Those who have got innumerable impressions, all these atheists, scientists, and those who are just, we are having good life, what we have to do with God. When something will happen, then we'll think about it. So most of the people, they will be included in these 3/4. Most. So I thought that then, of course, 3/4 of the impressions, when they are wiped out, the shock will be there. Whether they will be able to bear the shock, whether it will be possible to bear that shock, they have to talk about it. 3/4, what a benefit they will get. Not doing anything, not thinking, rejecting God all the time. And 3/4 of the impression, so when they will come back with awareness towards the divinity. What an advantage. So, those who are coming now, and I am telling you that what is Baba's work, how you are coming, not through reading or this. Otherwise, Quran is there. Through reading, if you can wipe out your impressions, that will be a great thing, but it never happens. So he has to, why he comes down again and again, he does most dirty work. And what is that dirty work? Our stinking garbage in form of unnatural impressions, which we go on collecting, he wipes out that. That is his work. So, those who 3/4 definitely means physical destruction will be there, but they will come back with awareness. Those who have come in his contact and who are coming, what is happening? He has started the process of cleaning is started, and that's why you are here. There are many, where those who follow him. So, follow him means all these unnatural impressions he is just wiping out gradually. But at the last, at the time when he has to manifest universally, at that time all those people, large group, would be there, and their impressions will be wiped out immediately. He will just throw the spiritual bomb, and that spiritual bomb, as soon as it is thrown, they will just lose 3/4 of the impressions, and great shock will be there. But those who are coming, the work is already going on. Just eliminating, wiping out those unnatural impressions. And how do you get, even if little awareness, how do you get this little awareness toward the divinity? Because the process of cleaning has begun. By that time, how much work will be done, how much impressions, unnatural impressions you will lose. That means this is a great advantage, great benefit, and real benefit, that awareness towards the divinity. So, we are really very, very fortunate, very fortunate that he has brought us in his contact, working hard. He is working and we don't know how we are coming in his contact. We are reading books. Oh, through this book, I read this. I heard that message, don't worry, be happy. Very good message. Now this don't worry, be happy. In India also, in the film, it comes, and in videos, serials, don't worry, be happy. And nobody knows that don't worry, be happy. Who gave this? No one knows. But they are just using, like, don't worry, be happy. And when they see the film or they see the video serial, so people, of course, don't worry, be happy. Those who say they are using this, don't worry, be happy, they don't know who has given this. And who is doing that, they also don't know. But it has become very, very common. So our beloved is all the time with us. All the time with us. And what is our duty? Our duty is to obey his command. Once I was keeping night watch. I will finish it. But the subject is our duty towards him. So I must tell the man. So that I was keeping watch, and Baba would always say that don't make any noise, don't make any noise, don't make any movement, and don't sleep. So I was in Baba's room. After the second accident, of course, I would be in his room when I would keep watch. And Baba said that generally he would ask me to give him massage or this. He did not ask me to sit down. So I was sitting down there, and Baba was lying down. And all of a sudden he clapped. And I went to him. He said, why did you make noise? I said, Baba, I did not make any noise. You made noise, and that's why I am disturbed. I said, I did not do that. I did not move, I did not make any noise. He says, you were breathing very fast. And it created noise. I said, breathing fast. It created noise. I said, Baba, the trains are moving. The railway station was very close to Guru Prasad. Trains are moving. Buses are going on the road. And then trucks are there. Lot of noise. And you are not disturbed. And you say that I was breathing fast and you got disturbed. So Baba said, did I call the train and buses and truck not to make any noise? I have to do with the trucks and the trains and the buses. I have nothing to do. I have asked you not to make any noise. So I am concerned with you. So his order that how means what duty we have. Our duty is just to follow him and to please him. It is our duty. And I am just giving this example so that we must know what is our duty towards him. How to please him. Just try. Little thing which he has given in the form of his wish, that follow that wish. Follow that wish. And it is not that you have to give anything, nothing. You have not to renounce the world. The world will renounce you. If you follow him, you have not to renounce the world. The world will renounce you. Thinking that these people are mad. And you are really mad, but sensible mad. Very sensible. It is not, you don't become mad, it is earned. This madness is earned. You have to work hard for that, to earn this madness. Those mad people who are on the street, they have not to earn. They become mad. But you are earning that madness, working hard for that. It is very valuable, very costly madness. So don't worry, let them say anything. Don't worry about the world. Just try to please him, and that is our duty to please him. Little thing which he has said, just follow that. Eat well, sleep well, enjoy. Don't worry about anything. And the beloved is with us, and he is our strength. He is our strength, the highest of the high. He has come down to our level. He is always with everyone, but he is active. So his activeness is with us. Don't worry. Whatever is there, he will take care. He will solve the real problem of the life, not other problems. Don't worry. Forget whatever you have. Just say that this is illusory. Yogi always says that, oh, this is illusory. If anyone says to him, I've got this problem, he says, this is illusory. Don't worry. Right? Yes. Yeah. So we must take it seriously that the problems are there. It does not mean that you should not try to solve your problem. In the world, of course, try, but try for him. Try for him. Make it the medium for remembrance. When you are facing any problem and you are trying, just say that, Baba, I am trying to solve this problem. If it is solved, it is all right. If it is not solved, still I am remembering you through this. So I am using this medium for your remembrance. And you will get strength. Inner strength you will get. And you will not feel worried. So, beloved, is great, and that great one, he has brought us in his contact. We must just try to love him, to please him. This is just my sincere request to you all. And I just feel so happy that how organized you have become. How organized. Organized to just crush the manyness and come together in oneness. Oneness, you just forget everything. This is the best thing. Now I know the importance of the Savas. Baba created this Savas program when he was physically present. At least we 2-3 days when we are here, or we just go anywhere, to attend the Savas. What happens? 2-3 days at least we forget. We forget the world and we remain in his company. And this is a great thing. What you achieve, you don't know. but you feel joy, you feel happy about that, and that is a great thing. But really speaking, what you are losing, you don't know. You feel happy. Losing that which we think that it is ours. All these impressions. So you are losing when you come here, and that's why this losing game, it is a very important game. Very important game. You cannot buy this game. And even if you spend lot of money, you will not be able to buy. This is just through your sacrifice, through your love. You can be included in the game, not through money. No. Even if you give all the property and this, you will not have it. It is your love, your remembrance. What the beloved is making for you. Great, great thing. And that's why when we come, such occasion comes, it is very, very helpful. Don't worry about anything. Even Baba, when he would just hold such program, and the first day, when that message was read, my dear children, what he has said that those who have come, those who could not come because of different difficulties, still I am with them. They are included in this program. So those, because of some difficulties, they could not come, they should not feel worried about this. They are also included in this Havas program. And they should feel happy. If I say that thank you very much, this is just formal thing. It has no meaning. But what I am feeling within, to see you all, and to see that how you are coming closer and closer to Him, it is really very touching to me. And I feel that the beloved, how he is working, how he is active, and what we are losing because of his company. We have to lose. There is nothing to gain. This false life is there and real life is there. Because of this false life, we cannot experience the real life. So this false life should be lost. And this false life is there because of the impressions. So we are losing it, we have to lose it, and that is our gain when we lose. And the beloved is there to help us. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.